back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kenna. Subscribe. I would love to have you here. And in today's video, I'm going to share how I live well with gastroparesis. If you're new here and you don't know me, I have gastroparesis. I was officially diagnosed in April of 2019, but I was dealing with symptoms a couple years prior. Also, I have general GI dysmotility as well, so everything's kind of slow. I'm currently tube fed as well, but I do eat by mouth. It's just I wasn't able to eat enough by mouth, and that's why I currently have a GJ feeding tube. I have a lot more videos explaining my story and information about my illness on my channel, so if you're interested, you can check those out. But today, I just want to explain things that I've learned over time living with my illness and how my illness has changed me and what has helped me kind of cope with my illness and get through life while dealing with very unpleasant symptoms on a daily basis. And before getting into these things, I just want to say that I know everyone has different experiences, everyone has different illnesses, everyone has different severities, everyone has different life situations, and this is by no means saying that my tips are going to solve everything. I know they aren't. These are just things that I found that work for my life personally, but I still wanted to share them just in case they might help you. I don't want to come across as rude or saying that if you follow all of these then you'll be happy. Like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. I just wanted to share my personal experiences and hope that they might help someone else. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get across with this video. Okay, let's get into it. And if I look down, it's because I wrote everything down so I don't forget anything. This first one is just finding ways to stay positive, and I know that sounds way easier said than done. I know, I'm not positive all the time, but here are little things that help me stay positive or look on the positive side of things. One of those is finding joys in the little things. For example, with my illness day to day, I don't often get ready in a cute outfit or do my makeup because I'm either just sitting in the house and I have really just no energy to do any of that. So like today, I am wearing a cute outfit, I put on makeup, and to me, that makes me happy. Like, I'm already starting the day off good, and there was a huge accomplishment for me in my day. I know it seems small to like some other people, but for me, that's huge. So just finding little things throughout the day like that and recognizing that, yes, it's small, but it can bring you happiness. It is an accomplishment for you. Along with finding joys in the small things, also celebrating your small accomplishments as if they were big accomplishments. Also, what helps me stay positive or kind of ground me is reminding myself to take things one step at a time. Oftentimes with illnesses, it's very easy to look very far ahead and see like, oh my gosh, if I'm tube fed now, I'm only 23, like, am I gonna be tube fed all the way up until the rest of my life? Like, just thinking about that causes a lot of worrisome thoughts, but reminding myself, take things one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, and just see where things go instead of thinking too far into the future. And then also just believing that there will be a time that things get better. Just because my symptoms are bad right now does not mean that they are going to be for the rest of my life. They could be, but I am choosing to believe that my symptoms will be better and better managed over time. There may be more treatments and more therapies, more medications, more something somewhere down the line that's gonna help me. Obviously, these things don't help, like I said, 100% of the time, but those are things that I find that help me stay more positive than not. And then number two, kind of the opposite of that, is allowing myself to grieve who I was before and my healthy self, and allowing myself to have those sad days. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to grieve who you were before you got sick. Your feelings are valid. You're allowed to think about them and work through them. Those days used to happen a lot more frequently, and over time they're getting less frequent, which I'm so thankful for. They do still happen, but when they do happen, like I said, I just allow myself to be sad and to sit in those feelings, and then eventually once I work through them and process them, I'm able to move on, and then I'm fine. And then I look at myself like the next day like, who was she? Why was she so upset about that? But I don't know, that I just kind of get to laugh at myself. But then during the time, I was happy I was able to process those feelings and feel those feelings. Number three, this one kind of saved me and brought the most joy in my life, and that was just finding new hobbies and distractions. And for me, that was sewing, that was crafts, and YouTube. They serve as something to look forward to every single day. I look forward to the days that I can sew. I look forward to the days that I can craft. I look forward to the days that I can film and edit videos. Those things just make me like so happy, and they also serve as great distractions to my symptoms. Whenever I'm feeling certain symptoms like nausea or pain, if it's not too severe, then I always try to do a distraction first before I jump to a medication, because that's just what I personally prefer. And like I said, the big thing that does for me is it it gives me something to look forward to every single day. Like if I just woke up and knew that today's just another day living with my illness and I didn't have anything to look forward to, that would definitely affect me very negatively. So I'm just happy to have found something that brings this much joy in my life, and that's something that I'm able to do. Number 4 was learning to prioritize my mental health. Illnesses can cause a lot of strain on your mental health because you're constantly feeling pain, you're constantly feeling nausea, you're constantly feeling these unpleasant symptoms and not being able to do a lot of things that normal people can do. So finding ways to prioritize it has helped me a lot, and like I said, this is gonna look different for everyone, but ways that has helped me, and this one I'm like super thankful for because I know not every situation allows for it, but my biggest one was quitting my nursing job. Nursing is a very, very stressful job and takes a toll on you, no matter who you are. And then for me, being a new grad during a pandemic, that graduated during a pandemic, and then also dealing with my symptoms and my symptoms getting worse and then eventually getting a feeding tube all during that time, that job was just too much for me to physically handle. It took me a while to kind of admit that, but that physical strain it was putting on my body was also taking a huge toll on my mental health. It was just way too much on my physical body. I was just not having a good time in life at all. So quitting my nursing job is what helped my mental health a lot, and taking things lower and letting myself and my body heal is what helped my mental health the most. I know not everyone has the luxury of being able to quit their job, so I'm super thankful that I was able to do that. But it was also like difficult for me because if I sat and thought about it, I spent all my life growing up thinking that I was going to be a nurse and then went through nursing school and graduated only to not be a nurse. I was like, oh my god, I just wasted all that time. But I don't view it as that way. I don't look back and regret anything that I've done. I just recognize that things change and my life has thrown things at me that I wasn't expecting, and I'm just kind of going with the flow now. Other things that have helped my mental health is allowing myself to have unproductive days. I'm a very productive person. I think I have to be productive all the time and get a certain amount of tasks done a day to make the day worth it. But learning that some days are just worse than others. Some days my symptoms are worse than others and I can't do anything. It's fine. So just repeating to myself, your worth is not defined by your productivity has helped me a lot. Also, since my illness deals a lot with food, the way I create a good relationship with food is I still allow myself to have kind of unsafe foods. Like there's certain foods that I completely stay away from because I'm literally just too afraid to eat them with my digestion, and that's fine. But there's certain foods where I'm like, it may not make me feel good, but I'm really having that craving and it's going to take a toll on my mental health and my relationship with food if I don't just take the chance to eat it and deal with the symptoms. So I just do, and I deal with the symptoms. I don't know, that's just something that I have found that helped me maintain my mental health and relationship with food. Also baking and not avoiding food completely has helped me with my relationship. When I try to think about it, it's really hard to explain how I have maintained a good relationship with food. I still just give it a chance every single day and just hope it works, because I'm hoping for one day that my GI system wakes up. And like I said, as I say these things, remember this is for my situation. It may apply to you, it may not. I'm not saying it's going to apply to everyone. Just please remember that as I'm saying this. Other things that have helped my mental health, either taking meds or not taking meds. Like I said, I personally try to avoid my as needed medications until absolutely necessary. So for me, those are like Zofran, Phenergan, just because of side effects. But if my symptoms are just so bad, I'm like, just take your medications. There's no shame in taking those. Yes, your constipation might be bad today or the next day, but your nausea is causing a lot of strain on you right now. Just take it. And then also not taking medications, meaning if the side effects are too bad. I've had a couple medications that has done that for me, and I just had to stop taking them because it was affecting me more negatively than it was positively. So there's no shame in that as well. Just work on finding what works best for you and what works best for your body, and obviously under the care of a doctor, because medications can have scary side effects if you start taking them, stop taking them, don't take them as instructed. So obviously under the care of a doctor, but that is just something to consider. I get so nervous saying this stuff because I don't want people to take it like too literally or like get mad at me for saying stuff that worked for me that may not work for everyone. I don't know, I just get so nervous talking about this. And then another thing is just spending money on certain things that make me happy that other people may not understand. So for me, things that make me happy are like crafts and clothes. So I like spending money on that. I don't know. Just like some people like spending money on video games, or like some people like spending money on, I don't know what other people spend money on, but it's okay to spend money on things that make you happy, even if other people might see it as like materialistic or useless. Okay, number 5, finding a community of people going through similar experiences. These situations can be very isolating, especially if a lot of people in your life don't know kind of what you're feeling and what you're going through. So connecting with others and realizing you aren't alone and your symptoms aren't in your head and that what you're feeling is valid is very helpful. I have found and talked to so many people, and it has helped me so much in coping with my illness. Tip number 6 is being open to try treatment options. I have tried so many treatment options, and even though they didn't work, I'm so happy I've given a lot of medications and therapies and Western and Eastern medicines a chance. I often find that a combination of both Western and Eastern medicine helps me personally. Like I said, everybody is different, but keeping an open mind on treatments has helped me because you honestly never know what might help. And I know some treatments can be scary, like surgery or feeding tubes, but you just need to find something that works best for you. Whatever it is, it's gonna be different for everyone, but keeping an open mind has helped me. Number 7, this one also is easier said than done. It takes a lot of time to learn, but learning to advocate for yourself. Illnesses and symptoms are hard to navigate, especially when you're dealing with things that aren't as well known and there's not that many treatment options. And when your symptoms are more subjective more than objective, meaning they can't really see your symptoms, it's more what you're feeling internally, those are very hard to navigate. You know your body best. You just have to keep fighting for yourself and finding someone who will listen and care about you and find the best treatments for you. Also, bring someone with you to appointments who knows what you are going through, because oftentimes, like, I just get too nervous to speak up, or I literally forget all of my symptoms, but having my boyfriend or a parent there has helped me get certain things across to the doctors to help understand like what I'm really going through. Number 8 is, all these are easier said than done, but doing my best to not compare myself to other people. With illnesses, I feel like it's very easy to compare yourself to other people, like symptoms and severity and illnesses and everything. It's just very easy to compare, and even comparing myself to people who don't have my illnesses, it's so easy to compare, especially with social media and everything. Comparison, it's like, it's everywhere. You can't avoid it. But just doing my best to recognize that we are all unique beings. Everyone has their different struggles. Everyone has different situations, but to just focus on kind of myself and what's best for my body and my mind. Kind of just catching myself when I am comparing myself to other people, and that is bringing me down, has helped me. I don't know, like I said, I feel like these are easier said than done, but it's something that I have recognized I do for myself, and that not comparing also comes along with like certain treatments. We all react to certain medications and treatments and symptoms differently than other people, and how we react and our symptoms severity is all valid no matter what symptoms you go through. If you find yourself comparing, just do your best to remind yourself what you are feeling is valid. For example, with my gastroparesis, I personally do not vomit. That is something that can be easily invalidated when it comes to GI illnesses, because it's like, oh, at least you don't throw up. But that doesn't mean like my symptoms and how I am dealing with my illness is invalid. We all deal with symptoms completely differently, and our illnesses affect us differently, but even though you don't throw up, your symptoms and your illness is still valid. Even if you don't have a tube or extra like nutritional support, your symptoms, your illness, still valid. It still affects you. Just because one person has a certain severity or certain abilities that you don't, like, each and every one of you has unique experiences with these illnesses and with your life that are all completely valid, and there's no need to compare. Like I said, way easier said than done, but something that I've been consciously working on. Number 9, really learning to understand your diagnosis and your symptoms and what they mean for you. Initially, it was researching about it, what symptoms I might feel, what treatments might work for me, because it's very validating to yourself when you realize that your symptoms are valid and that they're coming from somewhere and that you're not crazy. And then understanding what treatments might work for you and which ones you should be more cautious about. So for me, that has helped when looking at certain medications or certain surgeries. Now at this point, what has helped me is learning to understand my symptoms. So my nausea, is this a nausea that I can push through, or is this a nausea I should take Zofran before it gets worse? This pain, is this a pain that I can push through? Is this a pain that I should be concerned about? Is this a pain where I should drain before it gets even worse? Just learning to understand your symptoms and which treatments or distractions or just letting it pass, which one of those options will work for you. So just really kind of starting to learn and take note about what helps you and your body most. It takes time to learn yourself and your body, especially as things are changing and your body is getting sick or reacting to certain treatments. It takes a little bit to learn, but that's something that has helped me, is actively working on that. And then number 10 is learning to understand how your illness affects those around you. I know that you are the one that's going through the symptoms, the illness. It's hard, but your loved ones are also going through it and seeing what you have to go through as well. As a young couple, this was something that my boyfriend and I had to learn. I mean, one, we were young, high school, college, so we're just trying to navigate life as a couple. And then also navigating this illness was also difficult because I was feeling awful all the time with my new illness and not knowing how to cope properly. And he obviously would also get upset because he's watching me go through this and my illness is also affecting him. But then I would also get upset because I'm like, why is he getting upset? I'm the one going through this. But like, the thing that has helped us most is communication and kind of understanding. But I also had to like recognize that my illness is also affecting him and his life. So we just have to learn how to communicate about what each other wants and our needs and kind of like compromise and work through it together, because we're a team getting through this illness and all these life changes together. Those are the main things that have helped me get through living with gastroparesis. I am pretty proud of where I am now and my happiness and how I am living life now with my illness. I still remember like distinctly 1 or 2 days after my diagnosis with gastroparesis, just like sitting in the shower crying, thinking, what is my life? Why did this happen to me? I remember like sitting there thinking, having no idea what my life would hold and why this would happen to me. But I think me then would be proud of who I am now and how far I've come. Like I said, those are the things that has helped me, but I know that everyone and everyone's situations are different. And I'm so nervous. Like I said, I'm so nervous to put out this video because I know everyone is different and this isn't gonna help everyone, and I don't want to sound like I'm better than everyone else at all. That's not what I want. I just want to share what has helped me. I hope this helped someone and didn't offend that many people. If you have any tips or advice, please leave them in the comments. Let's help each other out and help navigate illnesses together, especially if you have a different illness, if you have found something that has worked well for your illness, because other people might find that super helpful. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give this video a like and remember to comment down below anything and to subscribe for new videos every Saturday, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!